There you go. Both frame rails are welded up. Welcome back to the channel, and we are beginning our Bleep and Jeep Beast Wars challenge build. We haven't been invited yet, and all that still hasn't become official until the end of the month, but I'm trying to get some work done just ahead of time, because some of these guys I've seen on the other videos, you know, they already have some rigs that are pretty much finished. Well, you know, time is money, as they say. Get ahead of the game a little bit and at least get these rails made up. Now what I'm going to do is make rails exactly like I did on my blue Jeep. In fact, these are going to be copies, with the exception is I'm going to continue the front rail all the way up to the firewall. Originally on my blue Jeep, this was the plan I was going to do with my blue Jeep back when it was still a two-door. Before I had found the Comanche cab, I was already planning on doing these rails and everything else, and I only did the front rails up about a foot or so into the original rails, boxed all that in, and then did some 2x2 up to the front, but I kept the unibody rails all the way forward. This time I'm going to lop everything off at the firewall, keep the stock stuff going forward for the time being, even though eventually that's going to get cut too. For this, I don't believe I have the time nor the budget to be able to do all that tube work, but I at least can do the rails up to the firewall, all the way to the back to where the hatch is. These are the exact copies that I did on my blue Jeep. In fact, my blue Jeep, like I said, was originally a two-door, and then when I had mapped all those out and drew all that up in SolidWorks about 7-8 years ago, I still had those files, so I converted them to Fusion, and I've redrawn it. I've got where I want to go with this white Jeep that we just bought. So to start with, I hit my local recycling yard, and I bought myself 7.5 foot 2x4 rectangular tube, 3/16 wall. A little heavier than what I need, really. 1/8 inch would probably have been just fine, but the more I buy, the cheaper it is per pound. So I came home with 5 of them. 3 will make up the rails, and the other 2 will be the sliders, which will come later. But for now, we'll get these marked out. Now these are very simple rails. They are straight front to back. There's just a small jog, 45-45, about 2/3 back to kick it up at the rear seat area. So this is the first rail. It is already longer than I need it to be, so this will be the 2 rear rails. I don't know if it's even long enough. It might be even long enough for the front rails. I'll have to measure and double check. I think it needs to be at least 5 foot. These are not 5 foot. So, simple here. Just mark the 22.5 degree angle, half of 45. When I flip it, make the complete 45, make the jog piece, and continue on the same way. And then we'll make some fish plates to cover up the seams and reinforce them. But at least for right now, I'm going to get started with getting this one cut. Then I have to clean these other 2 up, get my jogs cut, and the front rails cut. So, let's get busy. It's a beautiful day out today. 60 or low 60s. Sun's out. It's been real nice going in through this week. Spring hasn't exactly sprung. This is Ohio. It's nice today. It'll be junk tomorrow. But it looks like for the next 4 to 5 days, great weather, dry, sunny, warm. Time to get busy. Spent all day yesterday working on the garage. Almost got it completely done. I'm still sorting out through all my sockets. I'm trying to make complete sets again. It's no big deal. That's all my deal. That's almost completed. And then I have a 220 circuit I need to run to the garage. I do not have 220 out to my garage, and I want to be able to have 220. I will chamfer these and do double passes on these. So I've done that before. It's exactly what I did on the blue Jeep. It's been together since 2018, and it hasn't even so much as flinched. so I'm not worried about the penetration on 110 volt. My welder does really, really well. But I do want to go and get 240 out to the garage, so I have a bunch of 8 gates TH10, and I'll do some conduit all the way out the garage to get myself, you know, a nice 80 or 50 amp circuit out to the garage. More overkill than what I need. Welder only draws 24, but the wire was free. Hey, all right, so enough of that. Let's get busy and get this cut. Stick around, do this on time lapse. Alright, so there's the framerails cut. Cleaned them up with chamfer 'em. Need to change up my other, the cord on my other grinder is bad. Gotta fix it, so I gotta swap back and forth. So let me do that, and let me get these chamfered. We'll be right back. Alright, that's both ends chamfered. Went ahead and get the next pieces set up here. Get them cut. And rejoin you then. Be right back. Both pickers. I'll see you reel up. Get the second reel cut. Down here and stamp it out. Real. Alright, so I got all my ends chamfered up, cleaned up. I'm just going to tack things together. I'm not going to do the bottom rails right now because I need to drill through the bottom I need to take a piece of flat plate, drill holes in it, weld nuts on it, and put it inside and weld it in. That's going to capture my 4-link plate that comes up from underneath. So I got to have that done before I weld them to the rest of the rails. But first, I can at least get the upper rails and a down kick tacked together. Let's get that done. Locked up, set at 45. That side's tacked. And you notice I use a long piece of steel underneath it. Make sure it stays flat. The battery is dying in my mask. Strobe effect. Alright. That one's tacked. That one's tacked. I need to go and get my measurements off my CAD drawing. Where I need to put the holes. I need to make the nut plate. You just put in, tacked it, welded it in, make extra holes to plug weld that. So that'll stay in place. Then I can put the lower rails on the upper rail and complete the full length rail. There's a little low spot. Well, that finishes welding both hoppers. Give them a good grind. Patch any spots that need patched in. Let them cool off. And we'll start working on the lower rails and getting those prepped up so we can get them welded on too. So, time to take a break. Excuse me, Baxter. Ran into my dog. So here we go. Got the 2 upper frame rails done, smoothed out the ground. Got this one semi-mocked up, and about 2/10 of a degree off from here to here. I'm just playing around. Let's see how much I got to clean up here. Got too much gap up here, so I have to rework these lines so I get to push better, closer together, so I can weld it up. Got my dogs wrestling over here on the patio. That's where we're at right now. Step 1, the rails are made. Step 2 is get these drilled. Oh, excuse me. Get these drilled for the link plate. Get the nut certs inside. Get welded up. Get this edge cleaned up. We'll get these welded together. We'll have this done in the next couple of days. My rails will be ready when I can bring my Jeep over and just cut the floor out. Get these rails put in, build out from there. Good to go. So much easier working with stuff that's clean. Anyways, that was garage part 1. Bleeping Jeep Beast Wars build challenge. Frame rails. Stick around. Lots more to come. Thank you. Like, subscribe, comment below, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.